Alec, how are we today?
We're doing okay. We went a little longer on some of our other episodes we were recording today, so
Oh,
it's
we were
we're going a
reunited with an
little.
old friend.
Yeah, it was nice. Honestly, it was fun.
So it happens. It's some breakage in the business world that we have here.
But we're still here. We're still recording Survivor
Yeah,
episodes.
13.
Yeah.
We're getting down to the wire here. In fact, this will be the last episode before the finale. So
hmm
we're really getting down to the nitty gritty. We're at final five now, I believe. In fact, what happened last time?
Clay was complaining a whole lot
Yes,
at the very beginning of the episode, but it was Jake. Jake the Snake, indeed, was the one
Jake.
that
Yes, the last of
It's
Suk
one that
Chai.
one, and yeah, it was kind of extremely predictable what would happen. So there was also there was some challenges, there was some loved one stuff there. Jake couldn't get immunity. Ted got the win. Ted get immunity in like a really strangely shot final challenge. Yeah, and they randomly had the loved ones like come back to help them with immunity. It was kind of strange.
Mm-hmm. But now we're down to the final five, and it's
We're down to final five. So this is where the game's going to start to get interesting.
uh-huh.
That's for sure. Sorry, I was like I'm trying to decipher my notes. So the game will get interesting now. So we'll have to see what happens. Hopefully, a lot of thinking, a lot of strategy, a lot of loyalties questioned. I'm hoping for a rip roaring good time.
And you've hitched your wagon onto Helen now. Now that you've lost Shan, you lost Jake.
I like Helen. I think she's from Vermont. I think she's a Burlington, Vermont native, I believe.
Maybe.
I don't think she's a native, but she's from that area. And as much as I like to criticize people that live up there, I don't know. She's one of the Twin Staters. So yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Go for it. In
Let's see.
case you weren't aware, we are going to watch the episode. We'll have the link down below. We'll have a recap of the whole episode. Down there, you can see some highlights of our reaction, and then you can come back to this video after you're done there, and we'll do a sum up of our thoughts of the episode. So, yeah, that should be about it. Also, just if you're unaware, he has seen most of Survivor, I think, including the season. I have seen.
Yeah.
This is all new. I'm watching all chronologically, catching up to Survivor. So, yeah.
Indeed.
I don't know why if you tune into this episode first, but
Because they
there you
know
go.
this is
Just
where the
wondering.
game begins. This is where everybody's going to start watching.
It kind of is though. So we'll have to.
See you on the other side. Alright, so that was episode 13. I saw Ted leave
It
the game.
was.
So we will not have Ted as the winner of Survivor Thailand. At least. So it'll be
No, well, that's good, I suppose. Ultimately, in the grand scheme of things.
that would have been an interesting arc from the incident with Gandia to winning the game. But maybe he should have gone on board with Jake before it was too late.
Yeah, you would think maybe he would have guaranteed himself a little bit more time. He also did get very drunk and loud in this episode,
Yeah.
so I think that just solidified for Helen. It was like, yeah, we gotta get rid of this. Gotta get rid of this loser.
I mean,
That monster. He won that challenge. He got a car. He doesn't need it.
and Brian talked about how he feels like he has that hold on everybody except for Ted. He named everybody else that they each have a role to play in his game.
Yeah. So Brian is trying to be grand architect here, trying to pull a Richard Hatch,
Hmm.
only a little more robot like and sleazy.
Hmm.
He might have what it takes. So I'll have to see if he keeps getting immunity. I don't know, but I have a feeling that like when it comes to the final two, he's in the final two. Unless it's like Clay, I don't see anyone voting for him.
Really?
I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe some people might, but I feel like if it's him and Helen, I mean, I don't know why people wouldn't vote for Helen.
I mean, everybody
If it's
seems
him
to
and
like Brian. Helen's even saying he's such an upstanding guy. She thinks he's like perfect gentleman.
and I don't know, I don't really get that. Maybe it's just because I just have a weird predisposition to not like him. But I just don't. Based on everything that we've seen from this season, I don't really like him very much.
Yeah,
I
he's
think he's a
just
solid. He's a solid player. I think he's playing I think he's playing a good game. But like, I don't know. I'd want him out. I think he's too crafty, too conniving. You know.
yeah, but no one else seems to see that. Like Helen thinks not. Brian would never lie to me, but Clay's a sneaky guy.
Is he sneaky? He's like the most upfront person.
Well,
I
whatever,
mean,
I don't know what she
okay,
said exactly, but
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I guess kind of what we've seen is I guess Clay does tend to like try to pit people. So maybe that's what she was meaning about that. But I don't know. Clay, it's almost like what you see is what you get a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just my own perception, but
Yeah, it's interesting because they don't know how Sukjai is going to vote, and they could theoretically all vote the same way and choose who wins.
yeah, that's true. I think it would be cool if they all stuck together. I think that would be really interesting. So if that's the case, they are essentially going to decide who wins.
Yeah.
Who would they pick? That's the real question.
Mm-hmm.
Of the four remaining, I would guess Helen. Honestly, maybe Brian. But Brian was always like really standoffish seeming to them. Like Brian didn't really even try. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't even remember Brian really trying to like reach out to any of them because Brian's playing this game where none of them matter. Basically, it's all about getting Chuigang to the end, basically.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
None of them really reached out. They all just like did considerations when Jake and people like Jake would come up to them. They'll pretend to hear him out, and then
Yeah, it's almost like really tough for them to like even figure it out because like there wasn't even
so we don't know where their heads at. We'd like to think that they'll vote based on who they think played the best, but I mean it could
I guess so.
could be whoever treated them the best could have an edge there.
Yeah, there's a lot going into this finale here. There's a lot to consider, and it's going to be really kind of interesting seeing how Sukjai votes. Really, I mean, because I think even if they're not all a single unit, I think it's going to be interesting to see where all of their heads are at in terms of who they're going to vote for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Clay or Brian has shown that he can win competitions. All he needs to do is win 2 more immunities, and he's there at the end.
Yeah,
he's definitely going to be a big threat because I feel like he's won by far the most competitions out of those people. Clay's won here or there.
Yeah, Helen hasn't really won too much. Jan hasn't won anything.
So it could be an easy walk for him to get to the end if he just wins.
It's really interesting to me that there's a really big theme here of like holding on to one of the old folks for a long time, and like you basically using one of the blue hairs to try to get ahead. I found that an interesting strategy. I don't know why that's always seems to be the case though.
What do you mean, like with like Pascal last season? And
it was like Pascal last season. I really like Pascal. It was like him last season, and then we also had we had what's his name in season 1?
Rudy.
Rudy. We had Rudy, my boy Rudy.
Roger season 2, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit Roger.
Season 3 you had an old person in the end though, and she lost.
Yeah.
To Ethan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
that's what I mean, though. You know.
It's this idea that you take them, and generally they're not. These people aren't doing well at competitions. Is the idea, I guess. So you just take them as far as you can, and then cut them as we hope to do. But then it seems like older people, these older people tend to, like, they appear to be threats in the end game. Like, you don't want to take a nice old person to the end with you, you know, because they'll vote for him to win.
Yeah, like in season 2.
Season 2, but I mean, she had a little more control.
She was in that.
Yeah.
She also wasn't that old, but she was older than. She was older than.
She was the older one, yeah. But I mean, we saw in Africa that Ethan just won easily against.
Yeah.
What's her face? All right, so yeah, we saw Brian gave up the car to Ted because he said, spelled it wrong, and then
Classic.
and then called it
Hey,
out.
he's a used car salesman. He doesn't have to know how to spell, right?
And then I mean, that's Ted's consolation prize, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing. It's like Brian is kind of making this thing because like, oh, he could help me. It's like, well, you're gonna get rid of him anyways. It doesn't matter.
But Ted didn't know that. Yeah,
that's true. Ted did get drunk in this episode, and he was kind of goofy, and Helen was all whiny about it. I mean, I guess she had reason to be. It can be annoying, but it's like she wasn't even bothering to have fun with it. She was just kind of like rolling her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like she was acting more like an embarrassed mom.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, well, that's because her head. It's because we know that's because her head is in the I'm gonna vote. Probably leaning in the I'm gonna vote Ted out anyways. So
yeah, we don't know how far ahead they made this decision either. You know, you never know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's hard to say.
Possible she knew all along. It was just like, oh, easy.
Yeah. Easy.
But then we saw the steps immunity challenge. What do you think of that challenge where you put in the steps?
Oh, the puzzle one? I thought it was cool. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Very
simple, though.
Yeah, it's simple.
Right to the punch.
Simple, right to the punch. I like the fact that you really have to be observant in a way. You know, it's like because all the puzzle pieces are different and they're all different shapes. To me, the key to the victory of that one is as long as you're keeping track of like key elements on the edges, you should be. I think you should have an easier time to build the ladder up. So build the stairs. I guess
this is one that anyone should have been able to win, but still Brian ended up winning this too.
Yeah, which is funny. Yeah, I feel like anyone with any ounce of observance skills would have been able to shake it. And Brian just, his robot eyes, he just is able to just do the analysis and scan.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we have better connection next time. Like, we need to like.
Yeah, my apologies about that. My camera is garbo today.
Yeah, it's like the connection is bad. So. Hopefully there's something I could salvage from that reaction, but probably not much.
Pretty rough. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Like no one's using the internet. I don't know if my ISP's throttling or what the hell's going on. I hate my ISP anyway. I've been trying to convince my folks for a while to get a new one. But
should definitely figure something out before the finale because I feel like we should be able to have a good reaction for the finale at least.
Put our best foot forward. Yeah, for sure. All right, well that's it.
Yeah, we can.
You even straight up froze on my end.
Yeah, we can barely communicate.
I didn't even know what's going on anymore.
It was like a 6-second delay.
Yeah,
God,
it's falling apart.
God.
All right.
You need to figure something out. Seriously, finale. You froze forever. Wow.